The episode begins with this sign there. I don't know what it says, but it looks like a hospital sign from a horror game. Then we see this man kneeling in front of this woman in black. I imagine some animator had to invest many hours to draw such a beautiful and detailed face. She's undeniably cute, but I have a feeling I already know her. Why's that? Isn't that you, but with bigger boobs? You again, but with incestuous tendencies. Here, besides incestuous tendencies, you were also a lesbian. How about this, when you were dumb? And of course, that time you tried out for an idol career.
But Zig-sensei, you need to understand, that's a Japanese subculture named Gyaru, it's an aesthetic style.
I don't know when hentai tags started being called a subculture, but I'm totally fine with that. For real, can't wait for animes about subcultures like stuck in wall and public use. Apparently, she's a huge fan of this busty goth, another subculture I love, but that's already well represented on Twitter. The opening begins, and despite the jokes, she's indeed gorgeous. The main character making his clothes, for him to buy clothes, is for stupid people. The heroine vanilla, love it. The dominant Oni-sama, with homophobia in her eyes, she's your type even if she isn't. The tan tomboy with short hair, who walks almost naked, now we're talking. All amazing so far, let's keep going. Alright, I mean not giving my opinion on this. Wait, did you guys see that? I knew it, my eyes wouldn't lie to me, in most of the time. Oh my god, I didn't expect a reference to Tatami Galaxy here. The anime comes back. Gojou asks Kitagawa to try to guess which former European leader he's imitating. Then the anime spends like 2 minutes just with this image. I'm not complaining though. She explains a corn game plot to him. I didn't make that up, that's the actual anime. But Gojou can only think of how much he wants to fart, but he can't do it in front of her. He starts to fall into the corn game's black hole. This is the corn game's black hole. And he begins dreaming about a pocket version of Kitagawa, a good dream indeed. Isn't her nose too close to her eyes? This is Shizuku Tan, her favorite character. They give a little more prominence to her back, cause she likely has a lot of back pain. To be fair, she seems quite reserved and pure. Okay, this just went from 0 to 100 real quick. Anyway, does anybody know if that game exists for real? Asking for a friend. It's kind of uncomfortable to watch them talk, while he's on his knees and she's on her feet. I have the feeling he's enjoying it. Then he remembers this girl who said he's weird, when he was 8. It's quite impressive how this little girl built up such a skyscraper inside his head. Well, he's happy now. Maybe it's related to the little girl's memory. I don't understand how exactly that happened, but he became her personal seamstress. This is the instruction manual, according to her. But maybe it's just an idol magazine. Nope, instruction manual. As a thank you for all the hard work ahead of him, she touches his shoulder. That night, his grandpa enters his room, just to preclude the before sleep jerk. And let's be honest, the amount of wanks this kid is gonna do this night, Italy hasn't eaten in pizzas. He already has the material. How this camera angle isn't a jerk angle. If you enjoy the video so far, please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Otherwise, your grandpa will also hear you jerk off from the other side of the door. The other day, Kitagawa is at his doorstep. And honestly, she's quite stylish. I wish I could dress as well as her. But I know if it was me wearing that, this unfair world would call me gay. Wait up. Does she paint her nails the same color as her skin? She bribes him a cheesecake. Well, I'd sell myself for a cheesecake, not gonna lie. And she goes to Gojou's room. There's a gym bag, a computer on the floor, while there's a table right next to it, and some duvets on the floor. His Japanese aesthetic bedroom reminds me of my igloo in Club Penguin. She's checking out his pencil art, and he thanks the Lord for looking where he's looking. To calm down, he begins to think about JoJo. Cause the only bigger turn on than a girl alone with you at home are the adventures of the Joestar family. Gojou is a WWJD philosophy practitioner. What would JoJo do? Anyway, time to take the measurements. Then she takes off her clothes, and he gets very embarrassed. Why's that? She's the one getting naked. But don't worry, those aren't panties and bra. She's wearing a bikini, and that's completely different, somehow. I'm sure Gojou will handle it well. See, soulless white. It means he's absolutely fine with that. Oh yeah, that's exactly what he needs to hear, to calm down. And he measures her head? All that drama for that, Gojou? You see? It's not too hard. Half-second later, he's crying in the fetal position. You are a disgrace to this name. Then he asks her to turn her back. Gojou takes a good look at her ass and slap. I'm sure that counts as sexual harassment. Well, he slapped himself in the face. That's exactly what I thought from the start. He suddenly changes and gets to do all the work. In the meantime, I want to show you a guide from a Korean TV channel on how not to censor bikinis. Then they talk about her feet. For you who are a feet fan, time to shine. Shine like those abyssal fish, far away from me. Then Kitagawa sits on his futons, which makes him go into complete despair. And she just lies down, and realizes there seems to be glue sticking the sheets together. I haven't seen such a clear reference to the jerk since the end of Evangelion. As usual, after measuring the feet, it's time to measure the bust, just as usual. She holds her hair, and this pervert imagines something else. And if you also imagine something else, and you don't have a girlfriend, you should ditch corn to consume just hentai. Remember kids, corn is woman degradation, hentai is art appreciation. Oh my god, her boobs are so flexible, just like Spider-Man. I like how the anime wants me to believe that she genuinely doesn't understand why this schoolboy is embarrassed to touch her bust. You should measure them, Gojou. It's not to put in your mouth, that's a crime. So he has some sexual thoughts, that doesn't make any sense. The way she teases him can only mean one of these three things. A. She's wants his D. B. She thinks he's gay, or C. She sees him as a vegetarian virgin, and is teasing him out of sadism. Something like Nagatoro and Takagi, with the difference, they don't pretend to not be sadists. Now that I've cried like a dumped little bitch, let's go forward. So when he's measuring, well, no clue what he's measuring, but he ends up touching her other lips. He finally makes her blush. Anyway, can someone call the cops please? Gojou turns the AC blasting. He does realize Kitagawa is wearing a bikini yet, right? Maybe he's just trying to play the bad boy, to impress her. Which never works in real life. So please, don't fall for this kind of shit. If you're not a looker, being an asshole will only destroy any chance you have. Or maybe that's an attempt, to get her dressed once and for all. Kitagawa gets red like a traffic light. So she presents him with corn games, a creative gift I gotta say. When he notices how she's dressed, Gojou lies, and says he has a bad back. This lie was necessary, to maintain their friendship. You can't stop him now, you envious old fuck. The next episode begins with a zoom at her tits, playing dirty director. Kitagawa is so happy with the dress, and Gojou is holding a hairball, that he took from the shower drain, at the Greco-Roman wrestling club. Kitagawa starts to be very suggestive to him, but his hands are wet and disgusting, from the hair he took from the drain. Gojou wakes up and realizes, there's another reason his hands are wet and disgusting. Yuck, I wouldn't touch the face with that hand bro. Then he feels judged, by this Japanese doll with a pencil body. Why does this traditional doll, have elf ears? At school, Gojou still feels guilty for what he did. Post-jerk depression affects 8 out of 10 men. Kitagawa greets Gojou, but he feels embarrassed, as he doesn't want to be seen around an otaku who likes that kind of game. She asks what he thinks of her new hairstyle. Has anything changed? It looks just like the same for me. So someone summons this loli with a lollipop, or would it be a lollipop with a loli? 2 extras try to approach their group, they just don't seem more extras than the main character. So Nawa, this is Nawa, offers Gojou a condom on a stick. I know a tiger that would easily pass through, the hoop this girl wears as an earring. She says Kitagawa might be embarrassing Gojou, and tells her to leave him alone. Kitagawa yells he can't be embarrassed, since he's already seen her half naked. So someone x-rays them, I don't get it either. They leave, and Gojou is checking up their bodies from behind, as if nobody is noticing. Later, Kitagawa tries to talk to Gojou, but he says he needs to delete child porn from his PC ASAP. Say what now? Once again, she tries to talk to him. This time he says he needs to go snort a line, in the teacher's restroom. Huh? Gojou is trying to keep her away, but Kitagawa doesn't care about child porn or drugs in a school. Whoever sits at this place in Japanese schools, must feel like a protagonist. LMFAO. Why is she looking for him on the sports court? This guy has clearly, never kicked a ball in his life. On the way out, she finally manages to catch up with him. It's curious how her face is very pretty up close, and from a distance, it looks like there's not even a face. Out of nowhere, he bolts far from her. What a manly and mature attitude. Definitely, the best way to deal with people in general. Soon enough she finds him, since he just ran, and in fact, she looks a lot more athletic than him. So she begins humiliating him, and he needs to keep himself in that position, to hide the erection. She jokes a bit more, and pulls his arm, turning them both into mannequins. Holy shit, is that a motherfucking Durarara reference? They're in a clothing store, Gojou shows her a drawing, and wow. This girl is so well drawn, it's almost like he has a lot of experience, drawing anime girls. A little bit more of Shizuku, a girl who goes to school dressed as a widow, with a black chain around her neck. Gojou asks how they're gonna afford all this, and she says her sugar daddy will pay for it all. He pretends not to have heard that last part, about sugar something. She gives him a flower. Conservatives must be going berserk, with such an inversion of values. Kitagawa says she wants to go to Swallowtail. I'm sorry, but is that a BJ house of some kind? Geez, this is by far my video with the most sex jokes. It's actually a wig shop. I'm surprised at the number of women's wigs, since there are a lot more bald men. They wonder if they should buy the black hair wig, or the purple hair wig. Basically, they're deciding whether or not, her Shizuku will be a monster addict e-girl, with daddy issues. Kiragawa's thank you sound a lot like Kante's thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations, first of all.
Thank you.
'Cause there's only one king.
Thank you, everyone.
And there's only one crown.
Gojou asks them to shake hands, as a symbol of camaraderie, but she only gives him a bag for him to carry. The women's underwear store now. People won't actually see her using that, but let's see if Gojou catches the flirt. But our boy is about to explode, just to be standing inside the store. Kitagawa tries to be more to the point, and shows him her legs, but he already saw them, he has even touched them. At the end of the day, they go to a ramen restaurant. He's making her fattier, to reduce the dispute for her love. She tells him about cosplay events, or I thought so. How does a carousel pop up in a cosplay event? Stairs are fine, I need a place to push people down. And who the hell buys a green sheet, and takes a picture of it stretched, out on the clothesline? So she tells about this girl. She doesn't go to cosplay events, which makes her so mysterious. She also posts pictures of her face on the internet for a living. Then Kitagawa skates a bit, she deserves some fun. At any rate, she can't depend on Gojou. Then we see a flashback to Gojou's childhood, but since no one here cares enough, let's skip. In the end, Gojou becomes Kitagawa's stylist for good. In fact, it's fairer to say that he's Kitagawa's seamstress. As it turns out, you can't call a stylist a guy who wears those pants. This dude has the fashion sense of a blind mole. Feels like he got dressed in the dark. They arrive at this bridge, and she opens up more with him. She says the day was so much fun, that appreciates the fact he indeed played the game she recommended. That she's grateful he paid so much attention to the details of the outfit, and she's happy to have his company today. Anyway, she says goodbye to him, and is gonna sleep with another guy now, nighty. A few days go by, she makes him work a lot, even during exam time, and with his grandpa in the hospital. Gojo basically doesn't sleep, or eat properly for days, and has his psychological completely destroyed, for thinking about her. All that and they don't even have a relationship. But then she cries and everything becomes his fault, the end. If you like the video, hit the like button and subscribe. I'd like to ask you to watch at least 2 videos of the channel in a row because it helps me a lot. Also make a friend watch this video too. Use violence if necessary. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Bye.